Hello all, I'm Guna Mathivanan. Welcome back to Simply Current Affairs. As part of our ongoing Hitlist series, now we are going to start our economic survey discussion. Even before I start with the economic survey chapters, I would like to discuss a few economic concepts related to the economic survey. So like how I did for the budget, before even I started the discussion of budget, I was discussing about basics of budget basics. Like that, even before we start the economic survey chapters, we will discuss the basics involved in the economic survey. So the next few videos will be economic survey basics. Then we will start with our economic survey discussion chapter wise. So in today's video, we are going to discuss two important topics. One is regarding the GDP, particularly the new method for calculating GDP that we will discuss. Then we will discuss about what is this GVA at basic prices, gross value addition at basic prices. So these two we will be discussing in today's class. So we know the difference between budget as well as economic survey. What is the difference? Budget is for future. Budget will give you an estimate of how much money government is going to earn, with which how much money government is going to spend. So budget is an estimate. It is purely an estimate of how much money government is going to get, how much spending government is going to do. So this budget is for 2026, 2027, the recent budget I am talking about. Okay, economic survey is a kind of report card. It is a kind of report card for the previous year, that is for 2025 and 2026. In 25-26, how was country's national income? How was country's inflation? How was country's monetary policies? So how was the monetary statistics? What is the money supply level? How is the external sector? How is the investments? How is the agriculture sector, industrial sector? Like that, whatever chapter which we have discussed as a part of the, whatever topics which we have studied as a part of the economy static, for our GS, we prepare economy, right? The static part we discuss, we prepare, right? The static part is what we study as a part of the GS. The application part or the current trend part, you will be getting it in the economic survey, right? So if you are very good in the economic basics, then learning economic survey will be very, very easy. Okay, so without any further delay, let me start explaining about this GDP and the GVA, both together. Let me discuss here. See, in the year 2015, the government introduced some changes with respect to calculation of GDP. See, we know national income can be calculated using income method. You can calculate either using income method or you can calculate using expenditure method, or you can calculate using product method. So we know there are three methods to calculate the country's income. Product method is what we generally use. This product method is also called as output method. Now this method to calculate the output got changed. In 2015, the method to calculate this output got changed. Along with that change, some more changes were introduced. So we will quickly discuss that. 5 important changes were introduced in the year 2015. So when you compare the old method with the new method, the first change is regarding the base year. So what I will do, let me put a kind of tabular column so it becomes easy for you to differentiate and understand. So this is the old method that is before 2015, and here we have the new method that is after 2015. Okay. So the base year, the old method, the base year was 2004, 2005. In the new method, it was revised to 2011, 2012, and now it has been revised to 2022 and 2023. The second change was with respect to source, the data. So for calculating GDP, the old method was predominantly depending on annual survey of industries. There were other sources also. The main source was annual survey of industry. In the new method, that is in 2015, government from annual survey, they went on using MCA 21 data. MCA 21 means Ministry of Corporate Affairs 21st century portal data. In that portal, you will have output of almost 5 lakh factories, 5 lakh companies output information you will have. So annual survey of industries was having around the output information of 2 lakh factories. MCA 21 was having output information of almost 5 lakh enterprises. And now government has further expanded the source. Recently, government has further expanded the source. So for example, GST data is being used, e-Vahan data is being used, public financial management system data is being used, periodic labor force survey data is also being incorporated, right? Then this annual survey of unincorporated enterprises, that is also being used. Like that, the scope has also been expanded. But see, these are new changes. These are some new changes. Only these new changes were introduced, okay? Apart from that, the next point is regarding which one to focus. So the old method was taking GDP at factor cost for all practical assessments. The new method started using market price. Sir, what does this mean, sir? So before 2015, in your UPSC question papers or in newspapers, if you only see the term GDP, that was referring to GDP at factor cost. But today, after 2015, in the UPSC question paper or the newspaper, if you see GDP, that is now referring to GDP at market price. Every year, both the information will be calculated, because without calculating factor cost, you cannot calculate the market price. Okay. But for assessment purpose, for targeting purpose, for measuring the growth purpose, previously, that is when Mr. Manmohan Singh was a Prime Minister, he was using factor cost, GDP at factor cost was the measure for measuring the performance, growth, etc. But now when Mr. Prime Minister Modi assumed leadership, Prime Ministership, the government has changed the focus. So now for all practical purpose, to measure the growth of GDP, we are focusing on GDP at market price. Okay, this change was introduced. Then fourth is the method to calculate the output. The method to calculate the output. So from product method, we started to use value added method. Right. Fifth point, what is the formula for GDP at market price in the old method? GDP at market price is equal to, what is the formula? The formula is GDP at factor cost plus indirect taxes minus subsidies. Now this has been changed. Now what is the formula? Now the formula is GVA at basic prices plus product taxes minus product subsidies. Now for time being, let me write like this only, GVA at basic prices plus, for time being, later we will change it, indirect taxes minus subsidies. We will change this little later. These are the 5 changes introduced in 2015. So before 2015, this method, after that we are using the new method, right? Now the first 3 points you are able to understand. Now what is this method change, we will try to understand, and what is this basic prices. These two we will try to understand now. See, for this we will take an example. We will take an example of I'm taking wheat. Okay, wait, let me show you some slides. We'll take this slide. Okay. Now we have wheat. We have bread. We also have sandwich. I am assuming that this entire wheat produced is used for making the bread. The entire bread produced is used for making the sandwich. The wheat price is 40 rupees, the bread price is 100 rupees, the sandwich price is 150 rupees. Now assume this economy is producing only wheat, only bread, only sandwich. So now what is the GDP of this country? The country is producing wheat, bread, sandwich. Entire wheat is used for making bread, entire bread is used for making sandwich. Now we know GDP is the total value of all the final goods and services produced within the country. So sandwich is the final good. So we will say that the GDP is 150 rupees. This is old method. This is what is GDP. This is how GDP was calculated. Take the value of all the final goods and services produced. So here the wheat and bread are intermediate goods. Sandwich is the final good. So that value we are taking. Now what does value addition here mean? Value addition means at every stage. Now let's take this bread stage. Let's take this bread stage. This bread is 100 rupees, but you have to understand this bread is nothing but 40 rupees worth wheat plus 60 rupees worth value addition. Only 60 rupees is the value the bakery has added. Even take the sandwich. The sandwich includes 100 rupees worth bread plus 50 rupees worth value addition. When it comes to wheat, I am assuming that this entire wheat is produced by the farmer. From scratch till the wheat grains, the farmer has added all the value. So it is completely 40. 40 is the complete value addition. It is the complete value addition made by the farmer. Okay, so now in the value added method, so this 40 is the value addition made in wheat, 60 is the value addition made in bread, 50 is the value addition made in sandwich. Now you add all the value addition, that becomes gross value addition. Gross means total. Add the total value addition. So the gross value addition is going to be how much? 40 plus 60 plus 50. This is going to be 150. So this is how we are going to calculate the value addition. Now you might ask, sir, in GDP also we are getting 150. In GVA also we are getting 150. In both the methodology we are getting same value. Then why from the old method we have to shift towards the new method? See here the example which I have given is very simple. And I have also assumed that the entire wheat produced is used for making bread. The entire bread produced is used for making sandwich. So I have given this assumption. But practically this is not going to be like this. I mean every time it's not going to be like this. Practically see some amount of wheat, let's say the farmer who is producing the wheat, some amount of the wheat produced, the farmer might use it for his personal consumption. Some amount of the bread produced, that could be consumed by the bakery for the personal consumption. Yes or no? We are assuming that everything is used for producing sandwich. Now think practically. Some amount of wheat can be consumed for personal purpose. Some amount of the bread can be used by the bakery for personal consumption. That means the problem in the GDP calculation is we do not know whether the product is a final good or an intermediate good. I am assuming that you all are aware of the basic concepts like final good and intermediate good. Intermediate goods are inputs. Okay, while calculating GDP, old method, we should not take inputs, we will take only the output. Okay, but what I am trying to convey here is, in this GDP calculation, only when we assume that everything is final output, everything is output, we are assuming everything is output and then we are trying to calculate. I mean all these are intermediate, I'm sorry. I'm assuming that all these are completely 100% input. and we are getting output. I'm doing the assumption, but practically you cannot assume. So what happens is in the GDP calculation, there can be double counting. Now just imagine, there is a tea factory. Which is producing 1000 kg of tea packets. And there is a tea shop. Which is producing 1 lakh tea beverage. It makes 1 lakh tea beverage, tea drink. It is making 1 lakh tea drink. Okay. Now, let us say I am the Ministry of Statistics, National Statistical Organization. I go and do GDP calculation. I try to find out the output everywhere. So, I go to this tea factory and I am asking, what is your output? They say 1000 kg tea and each kg is 100 rupees assume. That means the output is 1 lakh rupees. The tea factory, the tea powder output is 1 lakh rupees. I go to tea shop. I ask how many tea produced? 1 lakh tea produced. 1 tea is 10 rupees. So 1 tea is 10 rupees. So here output is going to be 10 lakh rupees. So the tea shop output is 10 lakh rupees. The tea factory output is 1 lakh rupees. Now if I add both as the output, if I think that this is also final good, if I add, my GDP will be 11 lakh rupees. But do you think this is correct? This is not correct. If I assume entire 1000 kg, if I assume that this entire 1000 kg went as input, if I assume that the entire 1000 kg tea produced goes as input in tea shop, then this is going to be my input, this is going to be my output. In this case, I will say my GDP is 10 lakh rupees. In this case, I will tell my GDP is 10 lakh rupees. Now imagine, in this 1000 kg tea, assume 200 kg went for personal consumption. Households purchased. 200 kg went for households. Only 800 kg was sold for the tea shop. In that case, 10 lakh, in that case what we have to do, our GDP is going to be 10 lakh rupees plus this 200 kg tea. Okay, so that tea, this 200 kg tea, that tea was consumed personally. Households purchased for their personal consumption. That means you are going to add another 20,000 rupees. Our GDP is going to be 10 lakh 20,000. The point what I am trying to, don't think too much. The point what I am trying to convey is, in the GDP calculation, we do not know whether this entire wheat produced is used for bread, whether this entire bread is used for producing sandwich. We assumed and we are saying the output is 150. What if some of the wheat is consumed for personal consumption? What if some of the bread is purchased for personal consumption? Like that. What if some of the tea packets from the tea factory is purchased for personal consumption? So, in GDP calculation, we are finding some challenge. To overcome this challenge, what government says, forget about the final good concept and all. In every stage, go and ask, what is the value you have contributed? In the wheat stage, farmer, what is the value you have contributed? 40 rupees. Great. At the bakery stage, what is the value you have contributed? 60 rupees. Great. Go to sandwich stage. What is the value you have made? 50 rupees only is the value I have made. So, this becomes very easy. You go to the tea factory and ask them, what is the exact value you have added? Go to the tea shop, what is the exact value you have added? So, if you take a tea drink, in this you have milk, in this you have water, in this you have sugar, in this you have tea powder. Assume tea powder is 2 rupees, sugar is 2 rupees, water is 2 rupees, milk is 2 rupees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 rupees. Now 2 rupees is the value added by the tea shop. Wait, I will now assume a teacup. Assume a teacup. In this teacup, you have this tea beverage. Now, this tea beverage includes milk. Forget about water. It includes sugar. It includes tea powder. Milk is 2 rupees, sugar is 2 rupees, tea powder is 2 rupees, 6 rupees. Now assume the tea price. Assume the tea price is 10 rupees. 10 rupees is the tea price. 10 rupees is the output. All this milk, sugar, tea powder, these are input. So output minus that input, that is the value addition. Output is 10. Input is 6. So 4 rupees is the value addition. So like this, in every stage, tea factory, what is the value you added? Tea shop, what is the value you added? Every stage, you simply add the value addition. That will give you gross value added. That will give you GVA. So when compared to the GDP, I mean, what I'm trying to say is, when you compare to the product method, in product method, what we will do? We will simply take the value of all the final goods and services. In gross value addition, that is, we are using value added method. So here, we will not differentiate between the goods and all, final good, intermediate good. We will not differentiate. Every stage, what is the value added? What is the value being added? That alone we will add. So GVA will give you a better measure, correct measure, double counting can be avoided. So we go for GVA. So now we understood the difference between the product method and the value added method. Now, what is this GVA at basic prices? What is this? BP. BP means basic prices. What is this? Basic prices. See, now coming back to this example. Wheat is 40 rupees, bread is 100 rupees, sandwich is 150. So this 100 rupees is nothing but 40 rupees worth of wheat plus 60 rupees worth of value addition. This 150 rupees is nothing but 100 rupees worth of bread plus 50 rupees worth value addition. Right. Now, how this 60 rupees of value addition was arrived? How this 50 rupees worth value addition was arrived? So let's take this 40 rupees wheat has been purchased. 40 rupees wheat has been purchased. Then how the 60 rupees is arrived? There's nothing but the bakery land cost. The land cost has to be taken into account. The labor cost has to be taken into account. The fixed capital, the machines involved, that price has to be taken into account. The working capital amount has to be taken into account. The enterprise profit has to be taken into account. So the 60 rupees of value addition, how was this arrived? 60 rupees includes the bakery rent. 60 rupees includes the labor cost. 60 rupees includes the capital, fixed capital or working capital, right? 60 rupees includes the amount for the enterprise. The enterprise is also putting some energy, right? For which they will also put some compensation. All put together is 60 rupees. So this is nothing but factors of production. Yes or no? This is nothing but the cost of factors of production, the cost of land, cost of labor, cost of capital, cost of enterprise. This is nothing but the cost of factors of production. So we know what is the cost of factors of production. That is the land cost, the labor cost, the capital cost. Similarly, the entrepreneur will also take a cost. So this is the cost on factors of production. This is the cost on factors of production. Now, what does basic price say? Basic price says apart from this land, labor, capital and the entrepreneurship contribution, apart from that, there is some more cost. There is some more cost faced by the producer. So if Guna is running bakery, Guna bakery, that means to produce that bread, don't think only land rent, don't think only labor cost, don't think only the capital cost, don't think only the entrepreneur's compensation only, don't think that much only is being involved. Along with these four items, the producer incurs some more expenses. The producer incurs some more expenses. For example, let us say if Guna wants to start a factory, I have to apply for a license. I have to pay some fee, license fee. And if Guna is running a factory, I have to pay some property tax. I have to pay some water tax. There's something called as professional tax. In the production side, apart from these four factor cost, the producer is also facing some more additional expenses which is not taken into consideration, which might be very small, but that is being neglected. What is that amount? License fee, for example, the property tax, for example, water tax, for example, right? All these are imposed on the production side. All these are imposed on the production side. All these taxes, all these fees are imposed on the production side, on the bakery side. See, GST is imposed on the bread, GST is imposed on the sandwich. Are you able to understand? But I'm talking about GST is imposed on the bread. Bread is product. So we are not imposing tax on the product. Here I'm talking about tax imposed on the production side. I'm starting a factory, get a license, for which I have to pay some fee. I'm running the factory, I'm having some property, I have to pay some tax. So these are taxes imposed on the production side. So the point is, along with the cost of these factors, there is another expense that is called as production taxes. Right. So what is basic price? Basic price is equal to factor cost plus production taxes. Factor cost plus production taxes. Now, government can give subsidy on the product. On the bread price, government can give subsidy. On the sandwich price, government can give subsidy. Likewise, government can also give subsidy in the production side also. Government can give subsidy on the production side. In the factory side also government can give subsidy. For example, electricity can be given at free of cost, or electricity can be given at a cheaper price. Now electricity is given to the factory. It is not given to the bread. It is given to the bakery. So sometimes government can give subsidy on the production side also. For farmers, electricity is given at free of cost. Now this electricity given free of cost is subsidy given in the production side. Subsidy is not given on rice. Subsidy is not given on wheat. Subsidy is given on electricity on the production side. So, like how we have production taxes, there can be production subsidies also. There can be, there may not be. If at all there is some production subsidy, subtract it. So, this is called as basic prices. Along with factor cost, there is some more taxes which the producer faces. Add that. Along with that, government gives some input in the production side. Subtract that. Then what you get, that is called as basic prices. So basic price is equal to, I'll write here, basic price is equal to factor cost plus production taxes minus production subsidies. So this is for one item. This is for one basic price. Okay. Now, when I say GVA, gross value addition at basic prices, when I say GVA, that means every stage, 100, 150. So here, this is the entire input. In this, 40 plus 60. 60 is the value addition. 100 plus 50 is the value addition. So here I am taking basic prices. Here I am taking basic prices. Instead of factor cost, I am taking basic prices. So GVA at basic price is equal to GVA at factor cost plus production taxes minus production subsidies. So this is for one item. Okay, so GVA, gross value addition at basic price. We are calculating, we are adding the, so every stage, this is value addition, this is value addition, this is value addition. So every stage when I add the value addition, 40 plus 60 plus 50, that becomes gross value addition. The cost which I am taking, I am not going to take factor cost. I am not going to take factor cost. I am going to take basic prices. Sir, what is basic prices, sir? That is what I have written here. Basic prices, factor cost plus production tax minus production subsidy. Now, GVA at basic price is equal to GVA at factor cost plus production tax minus production subsidy. This you have to keep it in mind. This is the formula for the gross value addition at the basic prices. Now, we know the formula. So, sorry, I have written here. So, this is the new method formula that I am going to write it here. So, what is the new method formula? GDP at market price is equal to GVA at basic prices plus indirect tax minus subsidies. That is what I wrote. It here, right? That is what I wrote it here. I am going to change this now. Now, see, what is this GVA at basic prices? We have the formula here. Now, this indirect tax or the subsidy which is mentioned here, it is given on the product. The indirect tax or subsidy mentioned here is just on the product, because GDP at market price, once the product comes to the market, be it bread, be it sandwich, when the product comes to the market, there is going to be GST, and there can be some subsidies also. Now this GST or this subsidies that is given on the product, So what I am going to write is, instead of writing it as indirect tax and subsidies, I am going to write it as product tax minus product subsidies. I am going to write it as product tax minus product subsidies. Right? So now this is going to be the formula. This is going to be the new formula. So I will rewrite this here. So the change is simple: GVA at basic price plus product tax minus product subsidy. Okay. So GDP at market price is equal to GVA at basic prices plus product tax minus product subsidy. Now we knew what is GVA at basic prices because we have equation. Let us assume this is equation 2. So now what we are going to do is, we will put equation 1 in equation 2. That is, we'll introduce this GVA at basic prices here. So what will happen? GDP at market price is equal to, what I am doing, I am putting this equation 1 in equation 2. That is going to be GVA at factor cost plus production tax minus production subsidy, right, plus product tax minus product subsidy. That's all. We will rearrange this. See, this is nothing but what? This is nothing but This is nothing but GVA at basic price. Instead of that I have expanded this. Now what we will do, we will group it. GVA at factor cost, all the taxes will bring it together. Production tax plus product tax minus production subsidy plus product subsidy. Now this is GDP at market price, right? This is the formula in the new method. Sir, what is the old method formula, sir? Old method formula, sir, GDP at market price is equal to GDP at factor cost plus indirect tax minus subsidy. This is the old method. That is before 2015. This is new method. Now when you compare, what is the difference? What is the difference? The difference is very simple. See, instead of indirect taxes, we are writing it as production tax plus product tax. We are making it more detailed. Instead of subsidy, we are writing it as production subsidy plus product subsidy. We are writing it as production subsidy plus product subsidy. We are making it more clear. Instead of GDP, we are going for GVA. That is, instead of the product method, we went for value added method. That is the only difference. I know this is little technical, but this derivation will help you to have some conceptual clarity. It will give you some conceptual clarity so that you will not forget. Okay, so we understood the difference between the product method. We understood the difference between the product method, and we also understood what is this value added method. Right? So in the product method, we will simply take the value of final goods. In value added method, irrespective of the final good, every stage, what is the value added? Now, what is the advantage? What is the advantage? What is the advantage? In GDP, we will simply say, 150, because this is 40 rupees, this is 100, this is sandwich is 150. We will say 150, great. We will say 150, great. If GDP is increasing, that means the sandwich production is increasing. When GDP is falling, that means the sandwich production is falling. Either production or price is falling. But in GVA, in gross value addition, we are not just looking into the final good. In GDP, we will look only into final good. But in the gross value addition, every stage, wheat, what is the performance? Bread, what is the performance? Sandwich, what is the performance? Sector-wise performance will come to know. Sector-wise performance will come to know. Right? So, look at this. I am erasing this. So, we will get to know the sectoral composition. It is not just about output, agriculture, livestock, forestry, fishing, mining, quarrying, manufacturing, electricity, gas, water. See, like this, under 8 broader categories, we will get to know about the gross value addition made. Sector-wise, we will come to know. In GDP, it is all about final goods. It is all about the final output. But in GVA, we will get to know about each sector. Put it simply, how wheat is performing, how bread is performing, how sandwich is performing. We will get all the sectors performance, not just final goods. That is the advantage of this gross value addition method. Right? Since 2015, we started adopting this GVA methodology. So we will be getting an economic survey and all. When you see economic survey, you will be having okay. So you will be having data. I will show it in the economic survey 25-26 economic survey. So each sector wise data we will be getting. Right? So this is the most important change which you have to know. So you got an idea. Two things you got an idea. Number one is the old method and new method. What is the change? And recently in 2025, These two changes were also introduced, that also we have discussed, and specifically you understood what is this value added method, what is this basic prices also. Right. So in the next video, I will discuss another 2 or 3 topics which are again related to economic survey. So now it becomes easy for me. While discussing economic survey, I can simply say the GVA has increased, GDP has been decreased. It becomes easy. I need not explain that what is GVA there, what is the changes brought in the GDP there. That is not required. See, you should know this old method, new method. 2021 GS3 mains. First question, go and check. This tabular column is the question. What is the change introduced? How the new method is different from the old method? This tabular column was asked. Now you can answer for that question. Right. I hope the video was useful. I know this is a little technical, but revise it. It will become easy. You can control it. So I will see you in the, see all the discussion what I have made, the formula, the equations, everything I have given in the slides. The slides will be shared with you. You can click the link given in the description to download the notes. I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye. Take care from Guna Mathivanan.